Hi, my name is Caroline. I'm a diabetes specialist nurse, and this video is going to cover what to do when you are unwell and introduce you to sick day rules. I'm going to talk to you about what principles to follow when you're feeling unwell. When you have diabetes, it is important to know how to cope when you are unwell, especially if you have to go into hospital. Being ill can upset your diabetes management, so you need to know what to do to keep your blood glucose levels as close to your target as possible. You may have heard of the term sick day rules. These are to guide you to manage your diabetes when you're unwell. So, how does illness affect your diabetes? Illness and infections, as well as other forms of stress, can raise your blood glucose levels. As part of the body's defense mechanism for fighting illness and infection, more glucose is released into the bloodstream. This can happen even if you're off your food and eating less than usual. People without diabetes produce more insulin when they are unwell, and when you've got type 1 diabetes, your body cannot do this, so you need to adjust your insulin doses. The symptoms of hyperglycemia can add to the symptom of the illness and make you feel much worse, and increase your risk of developing diabetic ketoacidosis, also known as DKA. Hyperglycemia is when blood glucose levels go too high. Symptoms of hyperglycemia may include passing lots of urine, thirst, weakness, blurred vision, abdominal pain, leg cramps, nausea and vomiting, positive ketone levels, breath smelling like pear drops. With insufficient insulin, the body cells cannot use glucose for energy. The cells will switch to an alternative energy source, and body fat will be broken down to supply the necessary energy. This rapid breakdown of fat can cause the build-up of substances known as ketones. Eventually, the blood glucose and ketones rise to levels that cause the blood to become acidic, and this is known as diabetic ketoacidosis, DKA. You may need to look out for these symptoms: abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath. The only treatment for DKA is insulin and fluids, and you will need to be treated in hospital, where fluids and insulin are replaced intravenously with a drip. You can find out more information about checking for ketones in another of our videos. As DKA can develop, progress quickly and make you feel very unwell, the next section will cover sick day rules and how to manage your illness. Sick day rules to follow when you're unwell. Always continue taking your insulin, even if you're not eating. Check blood glucose and ketone levels every 4 hours. Check for ketones if your blood glucose levels are above 15 millimoles per litre. Positive ketone results always require treatment. If you're unable to eat because you're ill, it is recommended to have small amounts, ideally 10 grams of carbohydrate, to replace your energy levels. We've listed a choice of these drinks for you. If you're vomiting or unable to take fluids, please seek urgent medical attention. If your correction doses of insulin aren't bringing down your blood glucose or ketone levels, please get in touch with your healthcare professional. Although saying this, sometimes people can develop ketones with lower glucose levels, so we recommend you check for ketones no matter what your glucose level is if you're feeling unwell. We will now speak about how your correction dose can lower your blood glucose levels. We recommend that you know what your ideal target blood glucose level is. This will be individual to you and discussed with your diabetes team or GP or practice nurse. If you have completed a type 1 education course, this will have been discussed on the course and is explained in more detail in our insulin correction dose video in the series. So if you know your correction dose, you can follow these principles. My blood glucose levels are high and my blood ketone levels are less than 0.6 millimoles per litre, or I have no urinary ketones, If your blood glucose levels remain above 50 millimoles per litre, take your usual correction dose. For example, my usual correction dose is 1 unit of fast-acting insulin will lower my blood glucose level by 3 millimoles per litre. So as explained in our insulin correction dose video, you are wanting your correction dose to bring down your blood glucose levels to your chosen individual target level, for example 6 to 8 millimoles per litre. It is also important to continue to drink plenty of water and have sugar-free fluids at least 100 ml per hour. Check your blood glucose and ketone levels every 4 hours. Try to identify the cause of high blood glucose levels and seek treatment if necessary. You should continue to check for ketones every 1 to 2 hours if your blood glucose levels remain above 15 millimoles per litre. If you know your correction dose, you can follow these principles if you have a positive ketone test. So if you have a blood ketone level above 0.6 millimoles per litre, or you have a urinary ketone level above 1+, you'll need to take double your correction dose as your body will be more resistant to your insulin. For example, my double correction dose is 2 units of fast-acting insulin will lower my blood glucose level by 3 millimoles. Ideally, as previously mentioned, you are correcting your blood glucose level to your individual glucose level targets, for example 6 to 8 millimoles per litre. It is also important to continue to drink plenty of water and have sugar-free fluids at least 100 ml per hour. Check blood glucose and ketones every 1 to 2 hours and repeat the above dose until your blood urine is negative to ketones. Try to identify the cause of high blood glucose level and seek treatment as soon as possible. Please contact your diabetes team if your high glucose and ketone levels persist. Contact your GP or go to A&E if you are vomiting, as dehydration can occur very quickly. Continue with your usual amount of background insulin. If you're not confidently using a correction dose, there are alternative sick day rules which advise you to give 10 to 20% of your total daily dose of insulin, depending on your blood and ketone levels. We recommend that you look at the following websites if you'd like to know more about the 10 and 20% rule. So, I just want to go through the sick day rules recap with you. Always continue taking your insulin even if you're not eating. Check your ketones if your blood glucose levels are above 15 millimoles. A positive ketone result always requires treatment. If you're unable to eat because you're ill, you can obtain carbohydrate from the drinks currently listed. If you're vomiting or unable to take fluids, please seek urgent medical attention. If your correction doses of insulin aren't bringing down your blood glucose or ketone levels, please get in contact with your healthcare professional. For more advice on managing your diabetes and coronavirus and other intercurrent illnesses, please refer to this page on the Diabetes UK website. If you are concerned you have coronavirus, please follow the government advice detailed on this website. For more advice on managing your diabetes and coronavirus, please look at this page on the Diabetes UK website. I cannot stress enough the importance of always contacting your diabetes team for advice and support. We are here to help you, and we would like to thank Diabetes UK and Trend for allowing us to share their resources on this video. Thank you for watching. This video is part of our Type 1 Structured Education course. For individual advice, please speak to your healthcare team.